Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new Football Manager video from my channel. This is actually the first ever video I've ever done, so please be kind in the comments. I know it's not going to be the most cleanest, but I'm hoping it's going to be somewhat of interest. I've not really seen any Football Manager videos been done like this before, so it should be a bit different. Basically, a bit of a challenge. Going to be trying to take India all the way to the World Cup and hopefully maybe even to the knockout stages, the quarters, semis, maybe even to the finals, maybe even win it, who knows. Going to be only doing around about 30 or 40 seasons. Yeah, I'm going to be playing bits of it, so when we get to like important World Cup matches, knockout matches, for example, I will be taking control of those games. As you can see in the background, just running through the team, but I'm also making some changes as well. I'm not an absolute lunatic. I'm not going to try and take India to the World Cup without some sort of help. I suppose a lot of you will say it's a massive help, but trust me, I've already played a lot into this career mode and it doesn't actually make as much difference as you probably expect it to. Change the youth rating to max 200 just so it generates some good youth players. Otherwise we'd be probably here for a good few centuries trying to get India there. But yeah, the first episode basically a couple of games, but also just trying to add some extra strength to the squad. There was a lot of players that I found that had India heritage, playing in the English leagues mainly. Jan Dander, former Liverpool player, try getting him. He didn't want to come. Now Mason, player that actually does play abroad. Might be wrong in saying, but Lucille, I don't think it is India actually. I'm not sure where it is, but yeah, we tried getting him, and yeah, he wouldn't come either. Basically, it was kind of the story of a lot of these players, and a lot of them over the years. There's some that you just think you're never going to get the chance to play for England, but they just refuse and say, I want to wait and play for England, even though clearly the 30-year-old, they play in League One, they're not going to get a chance to play for England. But we did get one person, Mal Benning, someone who plays Port Vale, 29 years old, left back. As you'll probably see in a second, he does agree to come to us, which absolutely baffled me, because I tried quite a few players and none of them even wanted to speak to me. Yeah, we managed to get Mal Benning. I don't know if it was my amazing words that I used, but he actually said, yeah, I want to come. He does end up playing a decent role for us as well. He ends up becoming one of our better players, if not best player in the team. As you can see, he called him straight up to the squad. Looking at the squad, yeah, as you can see, he's got 4.5 stars. Only Sunil Chetri, who the India legend, 109. I know that's 109 potential ability. But Sunil Chetri, yeah, a very old, experienced player. This is the national pool. I've basically set it so it shows current ability and potential ability. We've got the editor on, as obviously you can see. We won't be making any other changes other than the fact that, yeah, we've changed the squad rate, youth rate for India to 200. We've added quite a few players to the national pool. I've gone through and yeah, basically just found anyone that has any India heritage and added to them. I'm going to keep on going through a lot of these players because you can see some of them like this Omid Singh guy was really annoying. I actually did get him to agree to come to us, but then I went on holiday, completely forgot about it, didn't call him up, and then he chose to play for Oman instead. And he would be by far our best player. So yeah, and then our first game playing against Libya. As I said, quite a few games. We'll play as the series gets on. There won't be as many games as I'm just trying to get through it. It might be a little bit slow at first as I've already recorded it. Was really enjoying playing the games at first, but after a bit, after 20 or 30 seasons, and well, as you'll see, yeah, it took quite a while to get through, so I started going on holiday and only playing like the really, really important games. But the very first goal for India comes from Aryan Raiki, someone who actually plays at Aston Villa at this point in time in the game, who came through at Aston Villa, who was another one that we agreed to sign, but I think he was already set to play for India anyway. He was in the youth team, promoted him, one of our better players, absolute screamer to be fair. And that's 2-0. Sandesh Jinga. the pronunciation of a number of these names is probably going to be quite horrendous throughout the video, so I do apologise to anyone who's Indian or anyone who, knows how these names are pronounced, because I know people get annoyed about that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not Indian, I have no Indian heritage, I'm not 100% sure how some of these names are pronounced. I reckon I'll do alright with some of them. Sandhu, I'm pretty sure is right, he's in the net. Sunil Chetri, I've heard of before, I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm a massive cricket fan, so if some of them, I've heard in cricket before, I'll more than likely pronounce them fairly right, so yeah. Yeah, first game against Libya, pretty low-rated team. We're only something like 106th in the world at this point, so we're not exactly fantastic either. Yeah, 2-0 at the moment, and pretty sure that's how it ends. Or do we get a third here? No. But yeah, and again, with these highlights, I'm looking at this video now, going back through it. It's been a while since I recorded this. It's quite long in terms of the highlights. I am going to be shortening it down. Actually, we did get another Sunil Chetri 3-0. The India legend must be something like 36, 37 at this point in the game. Not got many years left of him, unfortunately. But he does get a couple of goals for us, as you can see there. Wonderful header. 3-0. First game for India. Definitely a bit of a success. I said it was Libya. You think it'd be Libya, wouldn't you? LIB, but apparently it's Lebanon. How is LIB Lebanon? That makes no sense. But yeah, quickly cut to us trying to get another player to play for India. So we've already done a full season. We're in June 2023, and we've seen that Sim Tandy, someone that we found, that basically was Indian. He played in the English leagues, and yeah. Thankfully, I assume maybe because he was a free agent, I don't know, he agreed to join and play for us. As you can see, when we go to, actually now what we're looking at is, we've had some youth prospects through, obviously with Fisher done, youth teams have produced some players. This is a guy that we really hope to get, but unfortunately he's agreed to play for Belgium, Rohit Maite. We've got another Maite, Peter Maite, who is Indian, and current ability doesn't look fantastic, but potential ability is brilliant, 140, and Soman Rai is another one as well. His current ability, again, not amazing, but potential ability fantastic. So a couple of players there that should, hopefully, for the next 10-15 years, play a major role in getting us higher up. We're up to 96th in the world, which is fantastic. We've played a few more games, gone on holiday, and just, skipped through and played a few more games. So we're doing quite well at the moment. Some of the improvements we've made to the national team, some of the extra players that we've got has really worked. We've played a World Cup qualifying game with Brunei, 1-5-2, pretty comfortably. And then we played Kyrgyzstan, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one, 3-0 in a friendly, and then the two other World Cup qualifying games, lost 3-0 and 3-1. Not really expecting much really right now anyway, not expecting to qualify for the World Cup at this point. I reckon it's going to take a good 10 to 15 years, another couple of qualification periods to get there. Sunil Chetri there breaking the appearance fee, even though he was actually his own anyway, so it's a bit of a pointless thing, me showing that. Yeah, and then we're going to get into a few more games. So the World Cup qualifying is probably the most important one. Can we actually qualify for the World Cup? Playing this game mainly just to see how, if I play the game, if I have my tactics, don't just go on hard and lead to assistant, can it make any difference? We're playing Yemen here, who are actually quite a low rated team, so we should be beating these anyway, really. From what I know now, but at this time I didn't really know, so I probably will show it later on in the video. It's the top two teams that go through from the qualifying groups, something like 5-6 teams, and it's the top two that go through. Took the lead there against Yemen. Sunil Chetri, absolute legend, 1-0. And to be honest, this is a game that we should be winning. Yemen are nowhere near up there in terms of the World Cup, in terms of the rankings and stuff like that. So yeah, this should be a game that we quite simply win. Again, I can't actually remember, because it was quite a while ago that I recorded this. I recorded the full series, the full journey already at this point. Yeah, should be beating Yemen, pretty sure we do. I'd be very disappointed if we don't, to be honest. 1-0 at the moment. Again, I know I've recorded quite a lot of the game here, but that is something that will be changing going forward. It will just be quite simply a couple of highlights, mainly the goal highlights. I did make a change to the game where pretty much it is just the goals that are shown. So that might happen in episode 2, episode 3. Again, coming towards the end of the video now, so just as like a bit of a heads up in terms of how the series is going to work. Should be around about 5-6 episodes. This first episode obviously is just a couple of introduction games, a couple of just showing like what the team looks like at the start, so you can kind of get a full picture of how the journey ends up. We've got another game coming up here against Brunei, which is another World Cup qualifier. But yeah, as I was saying, this Football Manager journey is, like I said, going to be something like maybe 30 years, 35 years long. We're going to try and keep going until we qualify for a World Cup, and then maybe even, it depends how long that takes. If it takes 30 years just to do that, that might be it. But you never know, we might end up going all the way to a World Cup. I obviously know the end result, you guys don't. Obviously, I'm massively biased, and it'll help me if you do stick around, but please stick around. There is quite a lot that happens. It is a good one. Again, main reason for me doing this, I love like seeing youth team players come through. And yeah, we do obviously at some point get some really good youth team players. You've just seen a couple of those guys who have come through, in Someone Wright and Peter Mate, who will have big impact. Both got 130, 140 potential, which is massive for a club like India. So this career mode is definitely going somewhere every year, you know what I mean? We'll be looking, getting those youth prospects through, trying to develop them. We have got 200 youth rating, so I'd expect, you know what I mean, to get some players through. This game here, as you can see, is 1-1. This was, from memory, a very, very good game, actually. Just took the lead again, 2-1. Sunil Chetri is second of the game. Unfortunately, it's so disappointing that he was right at the end of his career when we got him, because he was just absolutely amazing for the games that he did play. He's got so many goals. By far our best player. Again, I'm not sure, you can see Cam Candola there, he's just played an absolutely fantastic ball. He was a player who did, again, play in English leagues. He was just one that I did try and get. I swear he was showing his English, but when I came back from holiday, he was just there in the team. He'd obviously just been called up. He must have just decided randomly to play for India. Don't know, but not complaining, because he does go on to be like one of our best centre-backs for the next 5-10 years. Yeah, like I said, much needed upgrade centre-back throughout this series. Was by far the most difficult position. As you can see at the moment, you're probably thinking, well, why are you playing 3 centre-backs then? It doesn't make any sense. That does continue for a few years, but then, especially when a couple of our players like Jingan, Katal, those players start to retire, start to get a bit old. There's just no way I could even play 3 centre-backs, so I do change the formation a bit. I'm using Daly's underdog tactic. I kind of use a little bit of the settings later on in the series, but not at all. But what a game this was, by the way. I'm just completely talking over it. I'm just missing the amazing game. 4-3, Liston Kalarko makes it 4-3. Absolutely brilliant game. Not finished there though. Is the any time for any more goals? Arjan Rankin very, very close, and then are we going to hang on? Last minute of the game, just about holding on against Brunei. I think it's a team that we are quite highly above. Look at those stats though, Jesus Christ, that's why I get to do 42 shots to their 7, and expected goals of 5.25 to their. They expected 1, less than 1. Wow, that is some crazy stats, and we only just won by 1 goal. Only just won the game. If we wouldn't have won that game, that would have been something to seriously question, to be honest. We can see how the table looks in terms of World Cup qualification. We're not far off, in fairness. Considering this is our first campaign, our first effort at actually trying to qualify for the World Cup, we're actually really close. We're only a point off second, which would see us go through to, well, first or second sees you go through to like another qualification round. But yeah, really close, to be fair. Which, yeah, I wasn't really expecting this early on, but yeah, we're basically very, very close and not far off at all. We are at the end of the video now, as you can see, far in this career mode. We've got obviously plenty more to get through. We're going to be speeding through it a lot more in these next couple of episodes. I'm going to be releasing episodes every single day, so keep an eye on it. If you do enjoy the content, like I said, I'm a brand new YouTuber. I've never done this before. I've already listened to a little bit of the audio, and it's not fantastic. I've got this habit of doing an intake of breath apologies if you didn't realise, and now I've told you and you do realise. I'm going to really try and stop doing that. Pretty much just did it then, a little one, only a tiny one. But yeah, I am, like I say, going to be watching my videos. I'm really trying to, make a go of this. Going to look at what I'm doing, try and improve. If you guys got any comments, any constructive feedback or anything, just drop us a comment, drop us a like, or the usual YouTube stuff, subscribe, etc. But thanks if you've managed to make it this far into the video. Honestly, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.